Amaris7, and welcome back to some more Sims for Create a Sim. This particular series is the D&D character series, which is where I take my D&D creations and try to make Sims for them. So today we will be creating Amaris Silvermoon. Oh, what is happening over here? I don't know. Something just fell beside me and I have no idea what it is. Anyway, back to the video here. So yeah, this is Amaris Silvermoon. She is a moon folk, which when technically I was looking back on it, so like, I really like elves, and I think I've mentioned this in a few of the videos. My boyfriend in some ways finds elves to be a little bit more on the boring side. I get it, they look the most human-y and stuff like that, but there's still a slight difference to them, and there's still a slight more exoticness to them without looking too crazy, but then they also have better abilities than humans. They're better humans in a way, but anyway, I really like elves, and that's not gonna change. Whatever. But, so I actually got to a point where I was like, I'm literally gonna make, like, every type of elf that I potentially can, just to annoy my boyfriend. And when I was going through and like trying to find all the elves that have been in D&D, because there's some elf like races that were in past versions of D&D and then they were taken out, but a lot of people still use them occasionally and stuff like that, and then some people make their own versions. So I was just trying to get a rough estimate of what different type of elves were out there and what elves I still needed to make. And in real life, I came across like moon elves, and that technically is what she is. She even has pointy ears and everything. The way I almost want to take it, I still want to call her a moon folk, but I almost want it to be a situation where her people, because, like, I had found homebrew thing for two different versions of, like, a moon folk, and I was sort of combining them together to get Amaris, but she definitely fits moon elf quite well. So I think in broad terms she's a moon elf, but she calls herself a moon folk, and like the description, like some of the things that I was using and combining to make like the one version of her race was basically they actually live more up in towards the sky, so like they have a way that they actually stay up there and live up there instead of on the ground, and it's to be closer to the moon. And in my sort of world of how I would do it is I would have it where maybe there were some groups, some villages, towns, or, you know, civilizations of moon folks that still were connected to the ground. In this case, just to simplify it, we'll go with Earth. They're still connected, they still know how to visit the planet, and so on and so forth, and like come back down. But some of them, I definitely want it to be like where they have sort of lost that connection. They don't actually fully know how things go on down there. They've sort of just lost all connection to that. So to me, she would call herself a moon folk, because that's just what she's gotten used to. But then a lot of the people that are like on the planet, Earth, the ground, whatever, would be like, oh, a moon elf. No, I'm a moon folk. You're a moon elf. That's sort of how I want to go with that sort of direction. Like, yeah, this is what you are. But they've just been disconnected, that they really haven't thought of, like, the different races as much, and they don't really realize their connection to the rest of the elves and all that sort of situation. That sort of type of thing. But, so Amaris here is a moon elf, moon folk, whatever you want to call her. I like the little stars on the ends of these ears. Like, I like these ears a lot, but there's a version without the little dangly stars, and then there's a version with. She is a moon folk, so the stars, I think, are a nice, cute touch. So Amaris' whole background is actually that, you know, she was in her town that was definitely not connected. They were not in tune with what was going on down below them. They have totally became like in their own world, and something happened that caused her family, maybe a few others, to actually fall, crash, whatever. Somehow they got to the ground, and it wasn't in like the most gentlest of ways. So sadly, some of them either were injured really badly, some were injured so bad that the impact was it. But Amaris was protected by her parents so that she wouldn't take the blunt of the damage or hit, and she was young. Now, this situation's happened. If any of the other ones survive, she's probably not aware of it, because it was more of like a fight or flight situation, and it probably got to the point where, like, they're in this new world, they had no idea about this world because they'd gotten so disconnected, they're scared, they're afraid, they don't know how to get back, and it's more of a situation of survival at this point, and eventually she ran off, whether it was just instinct or someone told her to, it happened. She doesn't fully remember all the details of that day, but she is now alone, and she had to sort of learn how to survive on her own in this world that she has no idea how it works, has no idea what to expect. Sadly, she learns from a very young age, being a female, that one of the ways to make easy money comes through just her body, in a way. So she sort of has this very promiscuous attitude to her as she grows up. She knows how to use her feminine ways to her advantage. Now, when she was younger, it was probably more of just a means of survival, a means of getting what she needed, getting money for what she needed, and now she knows, she's learned as she's gotten older that, she can twist people around her finger to get a little more and a little extra. So she sort of got one of those type of personalities. She'll basically flirt with anyone, whether she means it or not, you never really fully know. So it's like, is she messing with me? Is she not? Does she mean it? Does she not? Is she using me? Does she actually like me? You don't know. And the thing is I picture her as someone who definitely is more along the lines of being bi. So she'll literally flirt with, like, anyone. Just to get what she needs and or wants. But yeah, her main goal in the long run is definitely survival, and to maybe at one point know how to get back to her homeland. I would imagine that there's a lot of people who don't fully know how, like, I want to imagine in my world of this, like, where she would be at, people would know of the moon elves, they would know that they exist, there's some of them that actually do come back every once in a while, maybe for trading and stuff like that, and then leave, but I would imagine that a lot of people don't fully know how they get to and fro, and where exactly even those towns and villages are. So even if she's down on the ground and a lot of people recognize her, oh, you're a moon elf. Yeah, you're a moon elf. You come from the sky. They don't know exactly where in the sky. They don't exactly know how the other moon elves are traveling back and forth. So, she does want to try to eventually get back to her hometown. But it's a process. It is a process to try to figure out how to get there. Now, in terms of... Oh wait, I didn't mention her class and stuff. So she is one of the split ones that I have. She is a bard and a wizard. She is a School of Enchantment, College of Eloquence. College of Eloquence is the bard subclass. School of Enchantment is the wizard. I think one or both of those. I'm having a blank moment, but I definitely know at least one of them, but potentially both of them are either older subclasses or they're homebrew subclasses. But I still liked them, and I thought they fit really well for her. I think especially the College of Eloquence has to do a lot about speaking and stuff like that, and she definitely would have evolved her way of speaking to fit what she needed, to persuade people, to, in some ways, trick people, but, to get what she wants. She can talk her way into what she needs, basically. Now, in terms of her sim self... her aspiration is spellcraft and sorcery, and then the traits that I wrote down for her was romantic, kleptomaniac, music lover, dance machine, and materialistic. So, obviously, you can only have 3 traits in the Sims naturally, but I've been mentioning in every single video that there is a mod that I found that allows you to have up to 5 traits to pick from, and I'm hoping to put that in right before I start the mini-series. If you're not aware of the mini-series, it's basically the little tiny series I'm going to be doing where I put all of these D&D characters into the same household. There is actually a build of the household that I'm going to be putting them in. There should be a link down in the description below if you want to check that out so you can see the build for it. These 2 series have been going along side by side for the reason that both of them are heading towards the same path of this little mini-series. So we'll be adding the other 2 traits, hopefully, as long as the mod is updated at the time I start the mini-series, so on and so forth. From my knowledge, it has been getting updated when it needs to, so I think I'm going to be good. But Obviously, romantic is because of her whole sort of the way she sort of deals herself. She's very flirty. The kleptomaniac, because I would imagine she would try to steal things from here to here. She had to survive somehow. And music lover, because one, she is a bard. I do actually give her, you should have already seen the drawing way in the beginning of the video. I don't remember if I cut off her instrument or not, but she actually carries around an ocarina, which, Legend of Zelda fan here. Excited. I was like, I have to eventually give a character an ocarina, and I decided to give it to her. I don't know why, just for some reason I was feeling ocarina with her, and I really liked the design of the ocarina that I actually have, so, but yeah, anyway, I think I put the placement of, like, where the holes would be mostly right. I think with ocarinas there's different versions, so like some have fewer and then some have more, but anyway, hopefully it's right. But yeah, she does have an ocarina, so she does like music, and I imagine that in some ways she does view music as a way of, what is the word that I'm trying to think of? Smooth talk her way in, but that's not the word I'm trying to think of. What is it? I really can't think of the exact word that I'm thinking of, but basically, like, it's a way of being enticing, probably, to others, and she uses that as, like, one of her tricks to lure people in. And Dance Machine, partially because of the whole music thing, but also I do imagine that she would eventually become sort of a partying type, especially in referred to Sims, because, you know, Sims isn't set into the same setting that obviously D&D would be in, so I would imagine that if she was transported to more of a modern world, more of a Sims world, she definitely would be a dance machine. Like, I feel like she would go to clubs and everything, so that is definitely the vibe that I would get from her. And materialistic, because she wants more money. She wants to be whaler off. Even if she gets back home, she's just became this person that just is like, I want more things. So yeah. But you should be seeing the screenshots of her now. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of Amaris. Would you, be tricked by her, or would you run the other way? Granted, you know, in real human life, if someone came up to you with this light blue skin, probably be a little concerning, but we're talking about fantasy life here, so not so concerning. Also, as like a little side thing, the tattoos that I gave her, to me, they are not tattoos, because when I draw her, it's harder to see in the drawing because I purposely sort of made them a little bit lighter than some of the other lines that I did, but she does have markings on her skin, and I just want to imagine that that's actually like something they naturally get just for being a moon elf. So that's supposed to be part of her skin, not so much as a tattoo, but at least with tattoos in the Sims world, they don't come off when they change outfits and, like, you know, get into like the bathtub or whatever it may be. They stay on them, so that's why they are in the tattoo section, but they are part of her skin, so that is her thing. Some of the makeup I think I did is supposed to be permanent, and I had to go through and put it on all of them, but there's a chance that it would disappear when they do other things. But anyway, I hope you like this video. I hope you're enjoying the series so far. Once again, I have forgotten to count, like I was talking about in Aurelia's video, which should be going up on the same day as this one. It should have been the one before this one. I'm planning on counting where I'm at in the characters right after this video, so I should actually put a number at the beginning of both Aurelia's and Amaris's. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. There is someone that Amaris gets connected to, and I will talk about that later when that character comes up. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, like, comment, notification bell. You know all that lovely YouTube goodiness. I'll hopefully see you in the next one, but until then, bye-bye!